The Golden Bachelorette's Joan Vassos chose red flag-ridden Chock Chapple, and I'm convinced that means she'll never be truly happy in the long term. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching for more details. The Golden Bachelorette star Joan Vassos may have gone on a journey to find love with Chock Chapple, but I'm concerned she'll never be happy with her final choice due to his red flags and defensive behavior. Joan, who was originally part of Jerry Turner's season of The Golden Bachelor, became a Bachelor Nation favorite after leaving the series for a family emergency. While Joan wasn't on The Golden Bachelor Season 1 for long, she got a taste of the experience and found herself excited at the opportunity to become the next lead for the franchise when it was offered. As the lead of The Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan had a difficult job to do as she got to know the guys of her season and tried to build genuine connections. I think Joan's time as the lead showed off a fundamental issue Bachelor Nation faces, as she was more diplomatic about other people's feelings rather than staying true to her own throughout the process. Though Joan was a good lead on screen, it was obvious where the season was headed, and her time with Chock was edited to appear the most interesting. Now I'm concerned about Joan's future. Although Joan was excited about her time on The Golden Bachelor, having to leave the experience early left her still looking for a loving partner. Despite knowing that Jerry's marriage to Theresa Nist didn't work out before her time as the lead, Joan was cautiously optimistic that she could handle the pressures of being the Golden Bachelorette better than Jerry had with his turn as Golden Bachelor. Knowing what she was looking for and feeling ready to navigate the difficulties of the role, Joan's season did feel somewhat less dizzying than Jerry's as she tried to keep things on track. Hoping to find a loving partner, Joan shared with Bachelor Nation and her group of guys that she'd experienced great love in the past. In her marriage with her late husband, Joan was happily in love and didn't think she'd ever be looking for someone else. But after pancreatic cancer took Joan Vassos' life, Joan was left on her own. Doing her best to move on with her life independently, Joan made it clear to the guys of The Golden Bachelorette that she wanted to honor her husband and move forward with a new love in equal measure if possible. While Joan was open and honest about her experiences in the past, her time with Chock didn't always see him being open at the same level. Chock was honest about his 9-year engagement with his late fiancée, which seemed like it could be a way to get Joan to trust him, but he didn't open up about the commitment issues he seemed to face in his past relationships. While Chock didn't share much about his late fiancée, Bachelor Nation speculated about why after 9 years of an engagement, he didn't choose to marry her before her tragic and difficult passing. Even with Chock's engagement working as a point in his favor, there were women in his past who came out of the woodwork to share more about their past relationships with the Golden Bachelorette suitor, whose stories weren't as positive. Chock chose to stick to sharing his feelings about Joan rather than talking about his past, but his previous girlfriends were open about the fact that they'd seen Chock play similar tricks with them. Non-committal and unwilling to bend, Joan's time with Chock seemed to be going in a similar way his other relationships had, which wasn't a good thing. After Chock and Joan made it through the majority of the season together, Bachelor Nation viewers struggled to understand what she was seeing in him that viewers weren't. While Chock didn't seem like an inherently bad guy, his behavior was difficult to deal with as he continuously seemed to be love-bombing Joan, with his overwhelmingly positive feelings about their connection. Joan, who was skeptical about anyone revealing their feelings too soon, didn't seem to find it strange just how infatuated Chock was with her after so little time together. Instead, she continued bringing Chock through rose ceremonies and choosing him. While Chock's behavior was sketchy to Bachelor Nation, Joan appeared to be eating it up throughout The Golden Bachelorette Season 1. Though I'm certain there was far more going on behind the scenes with Joan and Chock that made her feel so deeply invested in their relationship, it was difficult for Bachelor Nation to understand why Joan was so happy with Chock when his red flags were so apparent. Some of the behavior Chock was showing should have pushed Joan away or made Chock feel like a liability, but instead, it seemed to continually pull Joan firmly back into his orbit.